It's really interesting to see. I mean, as you're explaining about the sounds and the different feelings that these instruments can give a person. I mean, you're also animated and you're really getting into it.
Well, it does. It's it's my passion. When I hear these sounds, I get excited. Like, oh, what could I do with this, or what could I do with that? For me, actually, the my favorite instrument. And it doesn't really qualify as an instrument in the technical sense, but it is to me the orchestra. Because
interesting take.
Because the orchestra has so many variations of color, the way you can blend instruments together to get different colors and sounds and timbres. And that, to me, it opens the widest range of possibilities of what you can do musically just from that, having all those instruments blend together. As I said, it's not technically looked upon as an instrument, but it to me it is.
Then again, if you look at an opera singer, their instrument is their voice.
That's it, exactly. Actually, in my case, for being a conductor, my instrument would be the baton, and I always like to joke with people saying that, in truth, the baton, I always ask people this trick question, I say, what instrument has the greatest degree of volume control? But I don't say what the greatest has the greatest degree of volume, but volume control. And people always automatically say, okay, electric guitar on a big amplifier, or I don't know, a big trumpet or whatever. And I always tell them, it's the baton. And the reason why is because the baton, as far as volume control goes, with an orchestra, can get the quietest piccolo to play it triple pianissimo, or can get the whole orchestra at one shot to play triple fortissimo, which is incredibly loud. So it has the greatest degree of volume control of all the instruments that exist.
Yeah, and it's just a little piece of wood.
That's it.
Depends what they make it out of. I mean, there's wood,
today
plastic,
fiberglass. Usually fiberglass with either a plastic handle, cork, oftentimes.
Yeah, and it actually has the most control, which for classical moviegoers out there, I mean, when they see the conductor up front there, no, he's not exercising. No, he's not just waving his arms, making like a bird.
That's right.
No, he is actually making sure that that the perfect sound and harmany comes out of that orchestra.
That's it.
Which is really, really awesome. What instruments do you play out of all those?
I play a number of instruments. I play piano, guitar. I also sing. Trumpet, and my first instrument that I started off with as a kid was the ukulele, which I can still actually play. I don't play it much, and I don't often get requests for it, but I do know how to play the ukulele.
Okay, I think we can blackmail you with that one now.
Photos with the ukulele, that's right.
You heard it here on Frank Talks Pleasures and Lifestyles first. Matthew Binks and the ukulele.
That's right.
Oh, my. Okay.
Following in the footsteps of Tiny Tim.
Frank Talks is sponsored in part by Everything Out of Her Mouth is a Test, a man's guide to the emotional needs of women. What would your life be like if you knew exactly what to say and do with women? Learn how to handle women's tests by addressing her emotional needs. By this, you create the type of attraction that will make her see you as the one. This book is a guide for men to understand exactly what a woman means when she speaks. Is that worth changing your life forever? Buy this book at franktalks.com now.
You're listening to Frank Talks Pleasures and Lifestyles, and I'm your host, Zoltan King, sitting in for Frank this week, who is out of town. And we in studio tonight, we have Matthew Binks, Montreal composer and film score composer. Welcome back to the show, Matthew.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
And we were just talking about different feelings and different feelings that music can evoke in people during the break, and so that kind of leads into the question of what we're going to be dealing with now, and essentially is, what pleasure do you get out of your lifestyle as a composer?
Well, I would say it's trying to think of how to best phrase this, I suppose. The pleasure I get is knowing that I've somehow, in some way, affected people on an emotional level. And writing film music is a great medium for that, because you take an idea on a screen that people are watching visually, and you heighten that. If you do it successfully, you heighten that experience. And it's just a good feeling to know that because a lot of people, when people go to movies, they're going, it's a form of escapism, So you go there to either have a story told, or these days as well, also to be wowed and dazzled by special effects. True, but you're there to be taken on a journey, and the music allows for that experience to be heightened if it's done properly. So that's really the pleasure that I get out of it. I really enjoy watching the end result after working over a piece of music and seeing what kind of effect it's going to have on an audience. Nothing is worse than writing a piece of music that does absolutely nothing. Just falls flat. But if you can hit the nail right on the head, and you get the emotions of what people are taking in visually, a cut right in there as well, orally, like A-U-R-A-L, orally, for the ear. It just, you can just see it. You can see how it's affecting them. You can see how it's taking them on that journey even more into it, just farther and deeper into it. And I really enjoy that. I really do get a pleasure out of that sort of end result.
Why do you get a pleasure out of that? What does it actually, what kind of spark does it give you?
Believe it or not, partially one of the sparks it gives me is the idea of what I'm going to do next. Like when I see that, I get a charge and I think, okay, good. Now what's the next thing I'm going to move on to that I can further, I often take from those experiences, I keep them with me and I apply them to the next project I work on. So if I seen something, if I write a piece and somebody tells me, oh my God, that moved me because it made me think of this time in my life, or it gave me this experience, I take that in. I take that to heart. I listen to what that person's telling me. And then later on, I might bring that forth again, that from what that person told me, those ideas that they had. And I thought, okay, well, maybe I can try applying that from my own perspective into the music, and see if I can, push things a little farther. Maybe just, kick things up a notch.
Mm-hmm. It would seem that you so much associate yourself with your art that it's almost you and your art are the same.
No, they are. They definitely are. I mean, it's. I've been an artist all my life in one form or another. Creation is what I do. And I don't, there's other forms of art. I still draw. I also do some short story writing on the side. I even used to do acting too. Anything where I can create, that's just rooted in me. It's just part of it's who I am. Probably since birth, I guess. It's been there since day one, since as far back as I can remember, to create. And so, yes, it is definitely, I can say that you'd be accurate in saying that, yeah, it is one and the same, my art and myself.
So essentially what you're saying is that seeing people responding to your art is what drives you. Yes,
it is. Seeing people respond to it because it tells me that I've communicated with them successfully, because all art is about expression in one form or another. It's conveying an idea. And if I can see that my contribution to a film has somehow impacted other people, then I know I've been successful in communicating. And that just spurs me on to continue to communicate in this wonderful language that we have, that's music.